Hello guys, my name is Julia and welcome to my channel. Here I speak about astrology and all the different interesting things around our own energy, about our chart, about feminine and masculine, about self-respect, self-growth and all of the interesting things. Okay, so today we are going to speak about exaltation and debilitation of the planets and what does that really mean. What is interesting, what we have to understand first. Exaltation position, as we usually think that people usually say that it's a strong position. In one way it is true, but we have to understand like the deeper meaning of what is really strong. The thing is that exalted position in the chart shows that person from the past lives has been doing a lot of things connected to this specific planet's energy. So the person understood a lot of the size of this energy. So if we speak, for example, about Saturn energy, so everything connected to hard work, to discipline, everything about working with some hard parts of life. So going through different problems with relatives or with self, so kind of this energy of going through something hard. Also, person understands how to deal with hardship with another people, kind of understands the part of being next to them, like hearing them and all of these things. Another part of the exalted Saturn person is really great at being career oriented. So it's like Saturn is about working class. So people kind of ready to sacrifice themselves for the work in service of others. Because Saturn exalted means the person had been working in the past life a lot in different ways. So person now understands how important to kind of put your energy into being of service of society. Or person could have been doing own business, because Libra energy, the exaltation placement of Saturn, talks about exactly the marketplace. So the person could be really interested in business area and really deeply, greatly dived into this in the past lives. And so in this incarnation, person coming with a will to work maybe from the young age, because it's interesting, this is what person knows, and this is what person kind of aware of and can go really intense to. So when we see exalted position in the chart of the person, it actually means that person really intensely using the energies of this planet. And it's not good, it's not bad, but when you are using something very intensely, it means you are learning a lot of more angles of these energies. Let's say if you are great in doing different things at work, so it's obvious that person is great in self-discipline. So person knows how to help other people, to create structure and to be disciplined. If you are working a lot, you also understand that if you want to get somewhere, or you've been working a lot in the past life, so you learn that if you are wanting to go to the point B from A, you have to create strategy, and you know how to go part by part, like you know the space of moving in the direction you are interested in, and you're not scared of any hardship, because for you hardship, this is like you understand that this is a part of the work or career field. And if you want to go from where you are, where you want to be, you are ready to move through different challenges. And this is why people with a strong Saturn, like Capricorn, like prominent Capricorn, prominent Aquarius people, they are very self-disciplined, because they understand this energy of going through different hardships in order to get somewhere where they put a goal. So Capricorn energy is very goal-oriented, so they kind of not afraid to jump, this goat, which is a symbol of the Capricorn energy, the mountain goat. They can climb really high without being afraid to fall, because this is how they kind of used to live. This is not what scares them. And so they kind of ready to go through this very, very, very dangerous place, because they know they want to go to get the grass up on the hill or the mountain. So to have strong Capricorn or strong exalted Saturn means person already faced a lot of this climbing, falling, and knowing how to climb better. And so exalted means person has a lot of awareness of how these energies of this planet is working. People think that having, let's say, strong Mercury is a blessing. But when we see that Mercury is connected to communication, like building rational, logical chains, person great in mathematics and all of this, computer technologies, all of the things where it's important to understand how this work, how that work, how to like logical thinking. So when person has this, it's great for communication with another people. Person is great from learning and teaching. So it's great for information exchange. But when the person goes really intense into these energies, person starts to have tendencies to overthink things, overanalyze. Like everything becomes the part of the, like, what is it about, why it is like this, what it can be, why it is given. And person can have this kind of losing the awareness of the other side of the world, where life is not only about rationality. Life is not only about just objective thinking. Sometimes it's just about being observed. And the another side of the exaltation, it also goes, for example, the people who scammers, who cheat others in the internet, so they create some schemes. They made a phone call to people, like trying to make a super cool proposition. People believe that, and actually they lie to them, they fool them, they steal their money. So they're very smart because strong Mercury gives ability to use your intellect, and people who has strong intellect can also build and use this intellect for creating really bad things in the world. It's also a side of the exalted planet, so it also has dark side, because when you go intense somewhere, this intensity will give you some kind of uncomfortable aspects we have to be aware of. When we talk about the debilitation, so this is like another edge of the same energies, when the person coming in this incarnation from the past lives with absolute blindness and not being aware of how to use these specific energies in life. Because let's say if we take the same Mercury, when person is using Mercury too much and too strong, you go too strong into analysis and rationalizing things. So everything has a reason for happening. So it's like very logical. If you know the way the green leaf becomes green by all of this mathematical explanation, that you understand how this chemical reaction is happening. So when you see a green tree, you can see, yes, this is green because of this. And the person with exalted Venus will stay looking at that and like, sounds really cool, but why don't you just can enjoy it? Like, it's so beautiful, look at this tree. And the person with exalted Mercury intensely sees why it is like this, and this in this moment can hurt energies of Venus, ability to enjoy life without understanding logic behind it. That's why Mercury and Venus have the same sign, but for Mercury, Virgo energy, analytical sign, is in a place of exaltation where everything is understandable. And this is very hard place for Venus, because when person goes too much into analysis, we kind of lose sensitive side of ourselves to understand what is actually enjoying these things, like enjoying the whole creation the way it is without understanding all the logical reasoning behind everything. You know that exaltation position for Venus is the same place of debilitation place for Mercury, and exaltation place for Venus is actually the dreamy sign of Pisces, where the imagination can fly very high, and also the 12th sign has the same vibration as 12th house, which is connected to our bedroom. So the place we kind of need to enjoy life, enjoy sensitivity, and this is where we don't need understanding anything logically. And it's not like the place where we speak. So it's more about where we experience our sensations. And Venus feels exalted in the place where there is no boxes, where there is no logic. Pisces is about like all of this kind of miraculous parts of our life, all of these kind of different realms, and understanding the higher meaning, and like enjoying the whole creation from the different sides. And Venus, like the highest octave of Venus, is actually connected to our spiritual awakening, where our Kundalini energy through the heart, through sexual chakra, goes up, and we enjoy the whole being of ourselves, the whole creation, like we are in harmony with everything, and we kind of in this ecstatic feeling of bliss. And this is what's happening with Venus in exalted position, like very deep opening to all of the kind of sides of this divinity of our world. And Mercury gets lost in this energy because there is nothing logical here. You cannot explain by logic how the enjoyment, you cannot count or calculate or rationalize enjoyment. And so it's more about sensations and understanding life through feelings and sensing life, sensing our own body, understanding things from the gut feeling, not because you build the knowledge, you read something about it and you kind of understand like why it's like this, like this, like this. So Mercury being in debilitation position means a person can be very interested in getting knowledge. People likes to get knowledge. People likes mathematics or things where you need to use, like you see this rationality. But person with debilitated Mercury is a dreamer. Person kind of not understanding exactly how to have like knowledge which you get from feelings, and how to explain them or rationally approach life, because this is not the way they used to live. They used to live by gut feeling, and sometimes they understand with their mind that I'm doing a mistake because logically it seems like it's not a good idea, but I really feel that I want to do it, and person do this mistake. And the same moment person with debilitated Venus numbs the feeling, and with exalted Mercury wants to do it because knows that this is the best thing, because they analyzed 5 times and they know that this is gonna work because I already had an experience of doing this and this and this and this. So you see this intensity, this is an exaltation. The poor energy, the blind spots, this is debilitation energy. And very interested that energies which has opposite vibration. Think about Saturn and Sun energy. They exalt and debilitate in opposite signs, because when we are going very strong into Sun energies, for example, exalted Sun, person very confident, person loves to do what they think, person loves to do what they want to, because Sun is very individualistic. Sun is the Lord of Leo. So obviously when you have strong Sun energy, you are very determined to do your own way, because you already have done million times everything your way, you like to do it your way, and you know how to do it your way. So creativity comes when you are not following anybody's way. You are easy going your own way, your own path. And this is what makes you feel fun, excited, what Sun is about. Like we express ourselves the way we want it, because we can allow ourselves to be ourselves. This is exalted Sun. Debilitated Sun, this is when you cannot allow yourself to express yourself fully, because you're afraid that you can dominate others. You're trying to be tolerated. This Libra energy kind of locks the Sun in this like I don't want to be too much, or I don't want to hurt other people with my shining, so I better kind of hide and allow another person to shine, so I'm kind of being humble. So this over humbleness always hurts sun. And Libra energy gives to the sun this feeling like kind of when the person is not doing the way they want, because sun is about I do the way I want it because I'm confident in my vision, I want to be like the way I see it. And when it's not strong, the person is not choosing their way, and that's why this person is attracted to people who usually say this is what you have to do, or that's not really good for you. Oh, I would not recommend you, or especially parents do it. No, 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 don't do that. Don't go there. Don't study in this university. Don't read that books. Why are you wearing these clothes? Or any of those things. They kind of trying to help, but actually they steal from the person ability to think for themselves. And when you are not thinking for yourself, you are learning to be guided. And sun energy is a leader. If you are learning to be guided all the time, you are losing the understanding. Your sun energy starts to be a numb spot. How to actually lead in something, or at least choose what you want, because you forgot how to, because you always been choosing something what another people recommend or think, because you kind of learn to think that maybe they know better. So this is this kind of tolerate kind vibe of Libra makes you very comfortable for your close people, very easygoing. So they very such people can have very dominating partners, because partner was kind of having strong dominating energy, and being next to such person is super easy to be yourself, because another people can't stand it or can't handle that. But this person is tolerating and kind of allowing this to be. So this kind of softness in sun energy, so it's masculine energy aspect of the masculine energy, it hurts sun. So in this position of Libra, sun feels really uncomfortable. But in the same moment, when you are having super strong sun and you are being very individualistic and you do everything the way you want, you are very creative, you don't like to take anybody's orders, you don't like to work on someone, you don't understand this conception of working on someone, and Saturn is exactly about it. So when you are great with sun energy, Saturn energy can go a little bit harder, because Saturn is debilitated in the same place where sun is exalted. Because when you are strong, individualistic, and likes to shine, you losing this humbleness, you losing this ability and wish to serve the society. You don't want to listen anybody's orders, and you don't want to be disciplined, because creativity comes from the artistic heart. When you are living like this and living like that, and you don't like this system, you don't like this planning. And Saturn is about planning. That's why Saturn being in strong position, becomes strong when person stops using their ego and self-expression, sun energy. And if we speak about Saturn exaltation, Saturn gets exalted when the person learns to be humble, when person learns to be self-disciplined, person learns how to do something for another people. So it's opposite from doing something for self and doing the way you want. So when sun goes down, so this energy goes debilitated, it actually helps energy of Saturn to grow. Because when you don't really do everything the way you want, so debilitated sun, you allow other people to give you orders. You are a great hard worker. You will do what others say, because you kind of understand this conception of this is the leader. They see how everything has to be done, and I know how to do everything properly because I'm humble. And so, the formation of this exaltation or debilitation, this is like kind of different ages of intensity of different planets. Like, think about it. Think about the Mars and Jupiter. Very interesting. Because this is not just random planets. Mars is warrior. This has to be done. This is like creating strategy and run doing it. Jupiter is about wisdom and the way it's really right to do. It's like two opposites. And think about all of these planets where they have exaltation, debilitation in opposite, how they interact. It's very interesting. And it doesn't mean it's bad planet when it's debilitation. It means in this incarnation, you're gonna face a lot of different challenges around this planet's energies because you are learning to use it. The same when you come in on the kitchen first time. If you take every knife, you can cut yourself because maybe you don't know how to use it. Or maybe you will not know how to cook with different products because you haven't seen them before. So you're trying, you're learning. Or you cook some shitty stuff and then you go in the internet, you learn, oh, this is a recipe, oh, this has to be done like this. And you start to cook it like kind of the really ways it has to be cooked. And so I'm trying to say that when you're coming in the new place, or the place which you numbed, like switched off a lot of aspects of some energies, in this incarnation you will face different challenges because you need to kind of understand. And of course the signification of these planets, they're gonna be heard. And the planet always rules some houses, so of course these houses will be involved. And by the way, when you are having this planet somewhere in some specific house, it means that in this specific area you are going to kind of experience these energies, like mostly because planets goes in transit. So your for example, you have debilitated Mercury, a debilitated Venus. This planet will influence you from different sides, like all of the zodiac all the time. But the placement where you have it in the chart, it's like the most place where it will be play out throughout life. Like, let's say you have it somewhere in the 5th house, so it's like connected to your children and creativity. And if it's in the 10th house, connected to your career place, and it can be something like the way you express yourself, something what you do in life, what other people see. And if it's in the 1st house, it's kind of connected to the way you understand self. Because I met several girls with debilitated Venus in the 1st house, like, oh my god, like very beautiful girls, like very beautiful, like anyone would see them on the picture and they would say, oh my god, yes, she's beautiful. And they has a lot of complexity with kind of believing it. It was something like a confession on our consultations that it's like, I have never been really in love with myself, or I have never been thinking that I'm really beautiful. I've always been trying to do a lot to look like this, and still I have reasons to think. So, kind of perceiving self, if this planet sits in the 1st house. And I met a guy who has exalted Saturn in the 1st house, very dedicated, very confident person, like very great at work, because he's very determined in projecting himself, so personality, the 1st house exalted Saturn, in the career field in different ways. He's successful in very different, like in design, in music, in different areas, and he's very strong about it. So when you see the house, this is the main area where this gonna be play out. And in transition, it's gonna touch all the aspects of your life. So when you see in transition, planet goes in debilitation or exaltation, it's actually the moment when this planet goes lower in the expression of the vibes or higher. Let's say right now, when I'm shooting it, according to Vedic sidereal system, Mars is debilitating in Cancer. And what I noticed exactly in the beginning when it's only started, I really felt the lack of energy. And a lot of people who I know who do sports, who are very active in life, they started to say that, I'm kind of getting tired so fast, or I don't like, maybe I don't want to do so much training as I do always. Like, what is happening with me? I don't know, maybe I'm getting older. And I noticed that no, it's actually because right now Mars energy is a little bit different way of expressing self. So we are not really that much physically active. We are more going inside because Mars is transited Cancer. Cancer is about inner space. So we are more putting our energy and fire into inner processes. The same when I noticed when Mars was transiting exaltation position, that was a moment when you really start to work a lot. You have very intensely dedication to do different things without stopping. So exalted Mars people usually work without stopping, so those are workaholics, and sometimes they need to kind of be more caring with their own energy, with their own body, with their own physicality, because they can overwork, hurting their own physical body. So Mars physical body can be hurt somehow. But in the same moment, these people are able to achieve a lot in life because they are crazy about investing their energy into something. What you cannot say about people with Cancer Mars, they usually have a lot of battles inside, but looks like they are lazy and don't really do a lot because they kind of don't really understand. So again, numb spot and the Mars energy, they don't really understand what kind of steps should be done or what kind of things has to be done. So they kind of don't do the steps. When you don't do mistakes, you don't have the experience. So exalted Mars becomes exalted because you learn to do million things and you learn how the physical life is working. When you don't try, you don't know, and you're afraid, and you are going within. And usually Mars in debilitation, this is about anger issues, but this is because person just does not use this inner fire to go outside, and the fire all stays inside and just eats the person from the inside. And if you're not doing even any art or you're not cooking, usually people with Mars in Cancer great at cooking because they can use this fire into the process connected to home. So Cancer energy connected to home and to food. So as you see, that this energy is not bad, it's not good, it's just something of kind of to take a spectrum of some energy. So one is one age and another is another age. So actually for us we have to understand and be aware of all the spectrum and to find balance. So this is the main point of our being here on the planet Earth, to find balance between all of these energies. Okay, thank you for your attention and see you in the next videos. Bye bye.